Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Belichick's Bitches podcast, the number one podcast in the world by some sort of metric, using the best source, the only source. Dude, trust me. I'm your host, Brennan, and along with me, as always, is my co-host, Tyler.
And we are back with another firing of a coach because the NFL is
The
weird.
first firing of the season.
No,
Yeah?
this is the second firing of the season.
Who's the first?
O'Brien, you dunce.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I already forgot about that happening.
Oh boy, this is gonna be an episode.
I told you my brain is mush today. My brain is
You want to restart?
it took me
You
3
wanna
minutes.
restart?
It took me 3 minutes to write the title properly. No, let's just go with it. Screw it, we're doing it
Okay.
live.
Anyway, so yes, come on, okay. So yes, Dan Quinn and Dan Dimitrioff, I think that's how you say that name.
Yes.
Got fired because they started 0-5, and they probably should have won 2 or 3 of those games because, well, they suck. And I'm surprised Blank made the move. I know we've been talking about it the past couple weeks.
We've been asking for him.
But
to
he's
make
a really
move.
indecisive guy. He's been a real patient guy. But I guess the 0-5 was unforgivable. I don't know how it's any different than going 0-4, but so they're out, and he's also not really that committed to Matt Ryan. I think they asked him a question about it, and he said, "Well, we'll see."
I mean, if you
He's
get good
feeling
enough,
wishy-washy after with Matt Ryan too.
if you get good enough draft
So.
positioning, I don't see why you necessarily stick with Matt Ryan in that giant contract. At least for you stick with him probably for through 2021, and play sort of a mentor role. Because if you cut him, it's like 40 mil in dead cap, and after this season, but after 2021, it's only like 20 something mil.
They'll just have to bite that bullet. I have a feeling this is going towards a long, lengthy rebuild because they were in a win-now mode for the past few years, and they haven't really been at that level. So I have a feeling it's going to be a longer rebuild for them. So I don't think them eating that money would be that detrimental because they have a lot of contracts they need to get rid of. And I know the rumor fans are going on about Julio. I think there's some merit to that. The Julio Jones movie. I don't think it'll be this season, but I think
That'd be
that's a pretty
so
fair
weird.
thing.
It'd be so weird to see Julio in a different uniform.
Because you always think of Julio as one of those players that would just stay with his team his whole career.
Yeah,
You know,
I think he absolutely would do that. But if he's traded, it's not really his choice.
And the landscape of the NFL has changed recently, where there's a lot less of those players that are just going to stay for their whole careers.
Yeah.
I mean, just because teams are so quick to rebuild now, and rebuilding has just become pretty much the norm for most teams. But I mean, we'll see. But it's definitely looking bleak. Who did they promote to? It was the defensive coordinator. I think Raheem Morris. His name?
I think so.
I don't know this. The defensive coordinator got promoted, which I was shocked about. Actually, I thought it would have been Dirk Coder for sure. They must have something there. Who knows? If they know more than us right now. So,
Yeah, Raheem Morris.
what do we know? Yeah. I mean, I haven't really known much about Morris other than that he has coached on both sides of the ball. Kind of one of those Brian Flores type guys where he's just kind of coached everywhere. Really the only thing I know about him. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I think Atlanta fans they're used to pain, so this really shouldn't be that hard on them. It's been like this the last few seasons.
For pretty much all their sports teams.
Yeah, Georgia sports is just not. It's not it. I have a feeling after this Saturday you may be in that same boat.
I disagree.
We'll see. I don't know.
With the way
That'll
Bama's
be
defense played against Ole Miss, I don't see it.
Yeah. Georgia needs to score early for that game to win. But I think it'll happen. I think it'll be definitely going to be a good game. I can't wait to watch it. So I think the biggest news. Really,
You're
gonna work that? That's a huge rip.
Yeah.
This is why you become a community college bum. You can watch the games. No,
I am a community college bum, but I just also have work.
Yeah, but you work. One of the more interesting storylines. I don't know if we talked about it because I don't know if it happened when we were recording. Dwayne Haskins got demoted to the third string after week 4's game.
It was obvious from the start that Ron Rivera wasn't really sold on him.
Oh.
That Dwayne Haskins was starting because he was a first-round pick and he was Dan Snyder's guy.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I wondered when they did draft. First of all, Haskins when he was coming out, I wasn't a huge fan of. I thought he was more of like a mid-round talent with a lot of hype from Ohio State. He only started one season.
Yeah.
I didn't really see it, but in the NFL, he didn't really. Last season he wasn't terrible. You could kind of tell he wasn't good for that scheme. And there was a lot of turmoil with the coach getting fired after 4 games,
and the organizational mess that is the Washington football team.
And that's what I'm saying is like everyone kind of knew he was gonna like that. Jay Gruden was not going to be the coach very long. So why did they let him draft a quarterback? Because it's Washington. So they let him draft a quarterback, which made no sense. And then now people are like surprised that Rivera already pretty much given up on him. So he's on the block, on the trade block. And I tried to think about this when you said this to me earlier. I couldn't think of a lot of teams who would like jump at the chance to get him because his stock is so low right now that there's really, I think, only a handful of teams that would like realistically give up a lot. I guess not a lot, but it would give up higher value than he's probably worth. For me, the only 2 teams that come to mind are Steelers and Vikings. Because Haskins is a lot like Roethlisberger. Big, immobile, rocket arm, just kind of stand there and throw. And then the Vikings, I don't know. I always just
Kirk is on the last year of his deal,
quarterback,
and he can't seem to get them over the hump. Yeah,
I think we'll talk about Minnesota. I think the issues in Minnesota are a lot deeper rooted than the quarterback.
Yeah.
But Kirk Cousins is going to be one of the fall guys for it, even though it's not his fault.
Quarterback always is.
Although he can't play. Yeah. Especially Kirk Cousins because he always gets shot. So what teams do you think we should call Washington or Haskins?
Depending on where they end up at the very end of the season, I think not like someone to trade for before deadline if he doesn't need to dealt before deadline, but like after the season's over. If Atlanta doesn't have like an early pick early enough to get like a Trey Lance, I think you at least make that call. Especially with Blank not fully sold on Matt Ryan for the future.
Yeah. And I think and a rebuild needs kind of like a little spark. And normally you get that spark from a quarterback. And that's just kind of how it goes. I think that'd be interesting for Atlanta. Yeah, because Washington doesn't need a rush to trade him for this deadline. If they really want to, they can just shut him down on the 3rd string. If they're really not, they're not going to win with any of the 3 quarterbacks. So they matter.
Yeah.
I think Haskins will eventually. I can see Haskins starting again, though. I think maybe around week 13 or 14 when they're really out of the playoff race. Because as sad as it is to say, Washington's still in the playoff race.
Somehow, some way. Thank you, NFC East.
Yeah. None of those teams deserve the playoffs.
No.
But I think once they fully get eliminated, which will probably be week 9, 10, 11, I think that's when you'll see Haskins start again because they're going to have to get his stock up enough to trade him.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then, there's a whole group of people about the Haskins. We're not going to talk about it. But people are just something else. The Haskins thing. But I think it'll be interesting to see. Again, of course, the Patriots fans are already saying, "Oh, why not New England?" Stop. No, it's not funny. Although he'd be better than Brian Hoyer.
This is true. Also on the issue of the Washington football team, Alex Smith took his first snaps this season. Standing ovation from his family.
That was cool.
I think standing ovation from pretty much everyone who was watching that game.
Yeah. I know. His name was trending on Twitter in like a minute, and I was wondering why. And I saw exactly why. I was like, turn the game on, press rewind. Yeah, it was great. It was great to see.
Yeah.
And Aaron Donald welcomed him with a
oh my lord,
sack.
That was so worrying when Aaron Donald jumped on his back. It's like, no, come on, man, not like this.
And people were getting on Aaron Donald for it. People were getting on Aaron Donald saying, "Well, you shouldn't hit him that hard." It's the NFL, though.
Yeah.
No, people were getting on. No, come on. That's Aaron Donald's job, is to terrorize quarterbacks. Doesn't matter who it is. Aaron Donald would probably sack his grandma if she was back there. So it just comes with the nature of it. But I was really cool to see, and hopefully he can actually start a game. Like, that's the next. Who knows with Kyle Allen's injury? He may actually start this week. Depending on how that goes. Didn't really play that well though, as expected of someone who hasn't played in 2 years. But I think he can. There's room for improvement. But yeah, I would give him comeback player of the year right there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't need to see anything else. I don't care any of the other injuries that happened last year that the guys have come back from. I don't even care. I don't care if Cam Newton goes out there and lights up the second half and wins MVP. Comeback player of the year should go to him.
Yes.
And
I'm
then,
actually already looking at, I believe, like in terms of like betting odds, so many people have already bet that Alex Smith will be the comeback player of the year, and I believe he has the best odds for like betting to win comeback player of the year.
Yeah. I think they kind of have to give it to him.
I mean, if you don't,
But
that's a crime.
So the football gods gave us a player back, and then of course, we're not allowed to have nice things, and then they took another one away. Injury to Dak Prescott.
That was rough.
It was
rough.
Oh man, it was one of those injuries where you kind of, the moment you saw it, knew it was.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Gordon Hayward injury a few years ago. That's what it reminded me of. It was just, oh man.
That was.
And
hopefully, it was a clean break and not like a multi-fracture break. So it's more. It feels better.
They haven't released they haven't released the specifics of the injury, and if they have, nothing like official. But from what it sounds like, it's a 4 to 6 month recovery.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be out for the rest of the season. If that is what.
Oh yeah, but if it's only a 4 to 6 month recovery, it does mean it was most likely a clean break. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, he's back next season. But you just hate to see it.
Probably franchise tag
because,
again, honestly.
And that's what sucks is he was playing for his contract. I know people like to make fun of Dak, and we've made fun of Dak on the podcast too about
he was
not worth $40 million. But I mean, he was playing lights out this season. I mean, the Cowboys' struggles are not on him.
It's on their defense, 100%, and their coaching.
It's And Mike McCarthy has been a little bit. He's literally Jason Garrett. I don't notice a difference between the coaching. It literally looks like Jason Garrett's offense. Jason Garrett's time management. He's literally Jason Garrett. But also, speaking of Jason Garrett, when Dak got hurt, I think he got hurt on the Giants sideline. He was the first one there. I thought was just, we'll see. There was a picture of it.
I didn't see that.
And he was the first one there with the trainer. It was cool. But yeah, you have to feel for him because it's just one of those things where no one wants to see anyone get hurt. At least real football fans. The weird football fans that celebrate injuries. I don't know how y'all do it. Y'all are weird. Not me. But you never want to see a player like that get hurt. It just sucks. Hopefully,
even if they're
speedy
a division
recovery.
rival.
Yeah, especially some Eagles fans like, get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cowboys haters in general.
Although I must say I would classify myself as a Cowboy hater. Not to that degree, though.
Yeah, not to that degree, but yes, I'd agree.
Okay. So I was watching the Falcons-Panthers game because I got the Falcons game because why not? I live in the South. And so I got the Falcons game, so I was watching it out of pity. And there was one player on that field that wanted to play. That was Mike Davis. He was a monster last week. And man, McCaffrey, he literally looked like McCaffrey that one way. Just for this one game, he looked like McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey, system running back.
Oh my God. Please don't stare at this. Although, I did see that argument. I have seen that argument.
Have you really? People are saying.
Yeah,
people really saying that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was one game, and it was against Atlanta's defense, which is Atlanta's defense. So
that's a shame.
He looked really good. My parents were playing him in fantasy, and they were not happy. They were not happy over the weekend about Mike Davis. Although, again, we kind of like watching the Falcons lose. So
I lost my 4th consecutive week in fantasy.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm 1-4 now. My only one win was in week 1.
I'm
Literally,
like
two of my starters on my team. Only 2 of my starters are players that I drafted. Everyone else is a free agent pickup. That doesn't tell you how bad injuries have hurt me. I don't know what will.
So, I don't know if did you watch the Thursday night game or no? Because the Thursday night game was funny.
Yeah.
So Brady had a little steak.
4th down, right? 4th down.
Foot down. So they went for it on 4th because they're going for the win, and it didn't work. So then Brady stands up after the 4th down, looks at the sideline and pulls up 4 fingers. It was funny. Whole meme out of it. They ended up losing the game.
It's like Brady, you're not in New England anymore. The refs aren't going to give you anything anymore.
Wow, that's so funny. Never heard anything funnier. But no, it's fun. It is fun to poke fun of Brady now because he's not on the Patriots.
It is very fun to poke
but
fun
of course,
Brady.
because Brady is Brady, right? On Sunday, the Lakers won their the NBA title. Yeah, not an NBA thing. So what does Brady do? He gets a Photoshop picture of LeBron on the picture of him holding up 4 fingers. Says congrats on number 4. Literally 3 days after making the mistake. I love Brady. He's such an asshole. It's great. Yeah. Beside that, the game was it wasn't really that good of a game.
No.
It was sloppy.
Yeah.
Chicago continues to win ugly, man.
I don't know how they do it. I don't
Who knows?
know how Chicago has even this good of a record.
The defense has played a lot better. Jalen Johnson has been one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah, I believe
for these first 5-6 games.
I believe I don't remember what the stat was from Pro Football Focus, but it was Jalen Johnson and Christian Fulton were either the highest graded rookie corners or like the rookie corners with the lowest passer rating when targeted.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those 2.
Yeah.
I think it was passer rating.
Him and Kyle Fuller on Chicago are like 2 of the best players with like completion percentage, like in the 30s, both of them. It's insane. Yeah, Jalen Johnson has just been crazy. The secondary, Eddie Jackson's been, just being Eddie Jackson. So, hey, if Chicago can keep winning ugly like this, who knows? Green Bay might have to watch out. People are calling Green Bay the best team in football, also.
I'd probably give that. No, I would have given that to some other team, but they decided to go and lose to the Raiders in my game of the week.
That was great.
My game of the week, and the Raiders won. Wow,
it was fun. It was a fun game.
I mean, the Raiders played the Chiefs exactly right. You can only hope to stop them. We know we're probably not going to be able to stop them on defense. We just got to outscore them, and that's exactly what they pretty much did. They only got like 1 or 2 stops the whole game on defense.
And Derek Carr, again, man, Derek Carr is so frustrating to watch because he's one of those quarterbacks that you watch him and sometimes he looks like a top 10 quarterback with his decisions. Then he'll overthrow Darren Waller like 15 yards. You're just sitting there like, there's no way it's the same quarterback. But I was making fun of Derek Carr in the game, and then of course they stormed back. But yeah, Henry Ruggs had 2 catches, 120 yards, a touchdown. It was like that that Randy Moss meme where he has like 4 catches for like
it was like 3 catches, like 100-something yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah,
like he had a Randy Moss type performance. He just kept getting open deep. The Raiders are a fun team to watch when they're clicking. It's just they're inconsistent. And if they can get those consistencies, hammered down and get fully healthy, Raiders might threaten for a playoff spot. We'll see.
Ew.
Yeah. Ew. I kind of hate that the Broncos Patriots game got delayed. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. Because some of the Patriots got COVID, so they're like, "Oh, Patriots we got to reschedule the game," even though it's only 2 players.
They got rescheduled. and there was another reschedule. No, I would have rather played y'all then because now next week y'all are gonna have Locke, and if you guys have Locke and we don't have Newton,
No, you're gonna have
that's gonna
Cam
be.
by next week,
I
definitely.
hope. I hope. One can hope.
But if it's Locke
Ooh.
versus Stidham, that'd be great.
It would. Yeah. That if it's Locke versus Stidham, that would be kind of cool because that's what our header is on YouTube. That would be cool. It'd be cool for that, but it wouldn't be cool because New England would get their freaking butts beat. So, who knows? Let's see. Also, Ace Claypool. Oh, there was some hype coming around him. Oh, coming into the NFL. I didn't think he would do that.
The Steelers
4 touchdowns.
prove time and time again
4 touchdowns.
they know how. If there's one position they know how to draft, it's wide receiver.
Wide receiver. I mean, there's a list of receivers they've drafted that are not first rounders. Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Juju, Claypool.
They didn't draft Martavis Bryant. Wait, did they? No,
They
they
did.
no, they did.
Yeah,
I don't know why I thought he was a Raiders draft pick. It's like, no, he went to the Raiders later in his career. Come on, Brandon, you know this.
And then there was the list went Washington, the other receiver on that staff. Just all these receivers that they just know how to draft. It's insane. But yeah, Claypool had a huge game versus the Eagles. The Eagles lost again.
Unsurprising.
It's fun to watch. Fun to watch.
It's fun to watch.
What's even
it's fun
sad
to watch
is
Carson Wentz get sacked 7 times a game.
Man, I feel so bad for Wentz.
And Burrow.
And
Burrow too.
oh, poor Burrow got freaking pummeled again. Oh my
I think he's on track to have
sucks because we finally get.
But I think Burrow is on pace to be sacked over 70 times this season.
He doesn't deserve it, man. Just want to watch Burrow play in the NFL. Not, I swear, the way his offensive line's playing, he's gonna get injured at this point. Just sucks. Yeah, Wentz, he had another one of those games where he looked really good, and then he made a couple really boneheaded decisions, resulted in the 2 picks. People had to give him 4 touchdowns from a rookie. Some type of record. I don't know. I think that I said it was like it's the first receiver in a long time to have a 4 TD game as a rookie.
Oh yeah.
But man, Claypool is just fair. He's like a running back / receiver / tight end. He's like he's just a weapon, really. The Steelers. Steelers just know how to put a running back or a receiver at running back and get production out of him because why not?
I wish that's something the Jaguars knew how to do with Laviska Shenault, the perfect player for that.
Sorry. We're just gonna have him run streak routes that our offensive line can't block for.
It's frustrating.
Romeo Crennel goes out there with Houston and they beat the Jags, which is kind of like
it's the Jags.
you stole a candy from a 5-year-old. Okay, like they won. Gotta I mean, if Crennel can pull off some wins with this, he's kind of setting himself up for a little coaching interview. Probably not with Houston, but with another team. Hey, did pretty good. Team looked decent. Jags can't finish a game for anything. It's either their defense
kind of falling out.
Well, either their defense is either really good and their offense doesn't produce, or their offense produces and the defense just kind of lays down.
Yeah,
they can never really play a solid game. That's what Jacksonville's issue right now is.
Yeah,
I don't know. They have to make a coaching change. Doug Marrone's still a coach there, right?
I want to say so. Yes.
Yeah. He might be. That seat might be burning up again. I don't know how. It's still hot from last season. And I was telling you this right before we started recording. There seems like there's going to be a lot of changes coaching-wise this year. It just kind of feels like a lot of teams are starting to enter more rebuilds. And I said the coaching carousel this year's been crazy.
Yeah, it seems like teams are more accepting of rebuild now than they ever have been before.
Yeah. Because you're seeing all these younger teams start to play well. I mean, the Chiefs 3 years ago were terrible. I mean, they were all right, but they were not doing it. Yeah. So Brennan's got to go away for a minute, so I'm gonna take over. But yeah, I mean, teams are starting to realize that rebuilds are possible, and they're starting to realize that You get a quarterback that's young that can do some stuff himself. Get yourself a solid defense, and all of a sudden you have a team that can get 8 or 9 wins. You're back already.
Yeah.
Must not have been an important phone call.
Well, you gotta answer when your mom calls you.
Trust me, that's true.
That's how it works. You can ignore it if it's dad, but.
Oh no. Oh no, what did you had no?
What?
Oh, if they call, it's done. Stop what you're doing. Anyway, off track.
Mom's calls and
Yeah,
dad's
like you
calls.
said, teams are definitely starting to realize that rebuilds are attainable.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like listening off the top of my head what coaches could be on the hot seat. Big names. Especially after some games we'll talk about later. Oh, man. Okay, I want to talk about it because it infuriated me so much.
We're already at the topic.
I have to talk about this Vikings Seahawks game. Okay, I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking, wow, Vikings are actually playing like a good team for a change, and it's on prime time with Kirk Cousins too. It's like it's kind of like when you see like a UFO type thing. This is happening, right? They're stopping the high-powered offense. Their defense looks good. The offense looks competent. And then like Zimmer, man, he's one of the more underrated coaches until this moment. So, I'll give you a brief moment. It's about 2 minutes left. 2:10. Yeah, about 2 minutes left. And the Vikings are up 5, and they have the ball 4th and inches on the Seahawks 10. Shot field goal. Seems like the most obvious field goal situation ever. Go up 8, and you'll force the league MVP to drive down the field, score a touchdown, and get a 2-point conversion just to tie it up.
Yeah, just to tie the game.
Hey, that seems like a no-brainer. And I'm a simpleton, right? That seems easy. So what do the Vikings do? They go for it. 4th and inches. And who do they hand the ball to? They hand the ball to a top 5 running back in the league?
Nope.
Do they give it to Kirk Cousins and maybe get a QB sneak?
Nope.
What they do? They give it to Alexander Madison. Nothing against Alexander Madison. He's a good kid. Not the person you want to be giving the ball to.
He had a pretty decent game that game, but not the person you want to give it to in that situation.
Oh, it's not. He got stopped. So, and I was watching this game, and I stood there, and I was like, if you're playing in almost any other team, I think it's a good move. You are playing the current league and the favorite to win league MVP, and he's kind of angry that he only has 20 points, and he's got one of the most deadly receiving cores in the league right now. Why would you give him the ball with only needing 5 points? It should, that whole saying. People are saying it's a play-to-win move. This is a play-to-lose move.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Your play-to-win move is kick the field goal. Honestly, come on.
It's
8 points really just to tie. There's no way they could possibly win the game with one drive.
Oh, and it's just you go for it, and you don't even put it in your best 2 players' hands. You give it to your backup running back. And it's just one of those things where Zimmer went from not really being on the hot seat because I didn't really think the Vikings' issues were his fault to seats getting really hot, man, because you just can't lose a game like that. You can't. Anyway.
That's how that's how I felt with Vic Fangio after week 1.
Yeah. Against that Titans. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That was a loss. That just kind of foreshadowed things to come.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just need to stop having hope. Okay. Well, how's our season going to go? Well, week 1, you blew a lead to the Titans. So it's going to be a rough season. Okay. So you think that's enough bad coaching?
You thought the Hall of Fame kicker would miss a chip shot 20-yard field goal.
You thought that was the worst coaching decisions made. Let me present to you Anthony Lynn. Okay. Anthony Lynn. I've never been a big fan of him as a coach. I didn't really like him when they hired him. I didn't think he was the best man for the job. There was better candidates. Hired him, and so the Chargers were beating up on the Saints.
Oh yeah,
just beating up on them. Breeze is washed. No, Taysom Hill. They even got
Drew
Saints
Brees looks like
fans mad at
2015
Taysom Hill.
Peyton Manning.
He got mad at Taysom Hill. You know how rare that is? They were getting mad at Taysom Hill. I mean, it is, bad. Winston was trending with like 25, 30,000 tweets. It was it. And then what happens? Anthony Lynn sits on the league. Herbert tried his best, man.
Let's just play conservative and try and run the clock instead of, let our
Literally-
offense be our offense and keep scoring points to actually finish off this game.
Anthony Lynn, I swear he's playing Madden sometimes. Because here's how he play. Here's just how he calls plays: run, throw the ball in 3rd and long. That's it. That's the game plan. No adjustments. It's run, pass. It's
And they don't even have their best running back.
oh no, they don't. And they don't even give it to their best backup, John Kelly. He's been a monster through 2 games or 3 games. What do? They give it to Justin Jackson, who's a decent running back. I understand, but John Kelly has the hot hand. They weren't giving it to him.
If you don't have a established starter, you feed the hot hand. Come on
That's
now.
what I'm saying. And that's the thing with any running back by committee. You feed the hot hand. Don't get stubborn, And
Belichick with Burkhead.
then so all of a sudden Herbert's thinking, I'm the first rookie to throw 4 touchdowns on Monday Night Football. He's going from that kind of, hype to, I need you to have a game-winning drive against a team full of momentum, and we're going to have no play calling.
Yep.
And then he goes out there, and on 3rd and 10, he hits, I don't even know the name of the receiver. It's some undrafted kid on the Chargers, and the kid drops it. Fine. And on 4th and 10, he hits Mike Williams, and they're stopped like 6 inches from the first down. Game over. Anthony Lynn, man. I don't understand. I don't understand his coaching philosophy. It's so
The Chargers.
laid back.
It's the Chargers.
No,
Same stuff, different quarterback.
and it's infuriating to watch, man. It's bad football. There's no other way around it.
It's bad football. Bad fundamental football.
It's just sad to see such a good game by Herbert end up as a loss. That's
This
like the
was
third game.
This was Herbert's best game so far.
This is like the 3rd game Herbert has balled out, and his team is like,
Nah, we don't
not
feel
gonna
like
let
it.
you do that. We're not going to let you do that.
We
the
don't
Chargers
win
should
here.
be.
We don't win here as the Chargers.
The Chargers should be 4-1. They should be, which is what's sad. And they're not. And think about it. They're one Fat Randy made field goal from being 0-5.
Yep.
Which is just pathetic.
One
Feel so-
leg cramp from being 0-5.
Oh, Jesus.
This has been the story of the Chargers. Like almost every season, they can't win close games.
Yeah. Well, what was the year? It's like 2009. They finished first in offensive efficiency, first in defensive efficiency,
But 32nd
32nd in
in
special teams, and they missed the playoffs.
Yep.
Imagine. It's that type, and I feel bad because they have the talent, a great roster.
They pretty much always have
It's just
the
they
talent.
can't put it together. That team is great. It's just Mike Williams looked like a stud. Hurt himself on that last play, which kind of worried me because again I have him in fantasy. I was, but yeah, I feel bad for Herbert. He deserved that Monday Night Football win. He deserved that
100%.
game ball. But so
Speaking
I didn't
of
think
like
this.
Chargers quarterbacks,
Oh boy.
Philip Rivers in
Oh,
Indianapolis. Oh,
Oh geez.
that was terrible. Watching that game against the Browns was terrible. Oh my lord, Philip Rivers, you're terrible. Just put in Jacoby Brissett, please.
And what's sad is there wouldn't be much of a difference between Jacoby and Rivers. They're pretty much the same quarterback in their careers right now. Speaking of which, Titans are already up 7-0 on the Bills. We're actually recording this as the Titans are playing the Bills.
Yeah.
Give us some live scores every now and again. It's a lot of the game up. But yeah, and I did not have the Browns at 4-1 right now.
No, I don't think I did either.
Browns they're finally here. Took them a while, but
I probably had him
Here.
at like 2-3 or 3-2.
I don't think the Browns are ready to compete with the Ravens, but I think they're definitely getting there. There's still something missing with that team, and I think it's either among the offensive line or on
The
the front
secondary.
seven. I think they just need. Yeah, Greedy Williams has a shoulder injury. He's going to be out for a while, so that sucks. Once Delpit comes back, I think that's going to help fill the void.
If they can get like a dominant interior linebacker or a dominant edge rusher to go alongside Myles Garrett, or even just an above average pass rusher to go alongside Myles Garrett, it could go a long way.
That's the thing. I mean, they have Olivier Vernon, who I think's contract is up this year. Who else do they have? My D line. They have Richardson and Ogunjobi, but those guys are more run stuffers.
Yeah.
At this point in their careers. But yeah, I definitely think that
Hey,
Brissett.
if Atlanta's looking to rebuild, if they're like officially looking to rebuild, if you're the Browns, you're in this like sort of we're going all in right now mode. Call up Atlanta for Grady Jarrett. See what his price is.
I wonder what his contract looks like. I know he signed an extension not too long ago. I think it was like last year.
Let me go ahead and look at it.
I wonder
I'll go to
his contract might be the issue with the trade with him. That's the thing about Atlanta that's going to make that rebuild tricky. Is how many guys they have on long-term contracts that
Yeah, they have
probably
a
don't.
lot of like contracts.
Yeah.
All right, Grady
what-
Jarrett. They don't really have an out. They don't really have an out until 2022
Yeah, I figured.
because it's 20. They signed. He just signed in 2019. If they cut him, they incur 13 million in. They incur 26 million in dead money, and save. Actually, they save negative 14 million. If they cut him in 2021 or trade him, they get no. If they trade him before June 1st, they incur a dead money penalty of 11 million, and they save about 10 million. So probably 2021 is their best option to trade him.
Jesus, that's rough. Yeah, but I definitely think the Browns should be looking to make a move. But it's just hard to get those mid-season trades done.
Oh yeah,
You know,
we haven't really had
it's
a
not
big in-season
not the
trade
NFL.
for a long time.
The last in-season trade that meant something was the Kenyon Drake one last season, and it wasn't even that big of a deal.
Yeah,
No, so I mean that's why the trade deadline for teams is normally a D tackle getting moved for a 6th-round pick. That's like the deadline move.
do you remember when the trade deadline used to be week 6?
Yes, which was so stupid. That's at least like what, week 9 or week 8.
It's week 8. The trade deadline exact date is November 3rd. After November 3rd, the trade deadline's closed.
And so the Jets started Flacco this week, and it was Flacco versus Kyler Murray, which I thought
Joe
that was kind
Flacid.
of funny because they're so tall. And Flacco's so tall, and Murray's not. I thought that was funny. There was a picture of them shaking hands, and it just made me laugh. But anyway,
Bills
besides
just
the point.
scored.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice. Josh Allen. Was it to Diggs?
Um,
Dang it, Isaiah McKenzie. Dang it. Stop being good.
Yeah, why couldn't you have been good while you're on the Broncos? You were what Mecole Hardman was. Mecole Hardman is what you were supposed to be. For Denver, at least.
Stop taking away targets for Stephon Diggs. I need to score touchdowns.
And John Brown. But I don't think I even have him starting anymore. Because besides week 1, he's been kind of disappointing.
No, maybe I shouldn't do fantasy football for the podcast because I suck at it too. Yeah, I thought that was funny. I mean, again, the game this week, there wasn't really that much, besides the Dak and then the firings. It was kind of a nonchalant type week. It's pretty. I was so riled up Sunday night. And I don't even really hate the Seahawks. So it didn't bother me that the Seahawks won. and it really didn't bother me that the Vikings did. 'Cause I'm not really a Vikings fan.
I stopped watching
I
that game
just
because
was
I
so
thought the
riled up.
Vikings had already won. It's like I turned off the game. Then I checked. I was playing Madden, actually with my friends, and I checked, just like on the fantasy app. I just checked Russell Wilson because I had him starting at quarterback, and I see that they won. I'm like, how did they win that? Because last time I checked, it was like there's like less than like a minute left or something like that, and the Vikings had the ball. It was the fourth and inches thing. Is like, nah, Seahawks lost. Wait, they won?
I just I
What?
couldn't believe it. I was so riled, and then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get any like more riled up about that this week. And then the Monday night game, I was sitting there like, really, back to back. This is what we're doing here. It, man, it was just it hurt. It hurt. I'm not even a fan of any of these teams. It's just man.
You need to play
Anyway, so
some Johnny Cash in the
Broncos
background.
Patriots play this week. Should be interesting.
Yes,
It should be
because
again.
we'll most likely
Be
have
interested to see.
Locke back. We'll definitely have Lindsey back. Fant isn't meh, and same with AJ Boye. So at least we get 2 players back.
Yeah, I don't know. If
But
we're gonna have
Belichick also
Gilmore.
gets an extra week to prepare for us, which I don't like.
Yeah, I feel like Drew Locke's gonna struggle against whatever Belichick's gonna throw at him. He's a mastermind at young quarterbacks. He's going against them. Not so much drafting him in the later rounds. Did him? Oh my god. Oh no.
Drafting the quarterback early, what's that? Bill Belichick. Probably.
Also, one little thing. So apparently, you were talking about with the Jets, Le'Veon Bell. You know that little relationship doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah,
That contract is massive,
it is.
especially for a running back.
It is.
So
It is.
I feel like trading him was going to be rough because of the contract. But if cap didn't exist, which again it doesn't for most teams or for some
For
teams,
for wealthy
this
teams,
is a pretty
doesn't exist.
for I think this is a pretty good argument. But if the cap didn't exist, if there's a team I wanted to see Le'Veon Bell on, and a team that I think he would like do well on, I wouldn't mind seeing him in Arizona. I don't know if the contract would work, but I think him in Arizona would be fun to watch. Him and Drake would be a cool 1-2 punch. I don't think he would get as many targets or rushes.
Yeah.
That scheme, but I think it would be kind of cool. The only other team that I could think of that would need a running back at this point was I'm blanking. Miami could use him, but then they're really not in win now mode.
It's true.
I feel like Bell would go to a more of a win
Petition.
now team.
Or maybe
He
not
was
so
traded.
friendly.
If you're gonna lose, you might as well
We're
just
gonna
stay.
do our best.
We're almost there.
I still like how no New York team has won since the New York Guardians. That's a fun. Every time I see that stat,
Yeah,
it makes
both
me
New York teams
smile.
are 1-5. That's amazing.
Oh, actually, both New Jersey teams are 0-5. The one New York team's actually
This is
pretty
true.
good.
The one New
Michigan.
York team is actually undefeated, right?
Yeah, they're actually leading their division because New England's on the struggle bus. I should probably be rooting for the Titans tonight, huh? Probably shouldn't be happy about that Bills score.
I'm rooting for the Bills.
And at this point, doesn't really mind. And they're playing without John Brown and Trey White. Bills.
Oh, they're playing without Trey White? I knew about John Brown. I didn't know about Trey White.
Yeah.
We should probably move on to our game of the week.
Probably.
We're
We've
at
been
45
kind of.
minutes.
Yeah, we had to kind of stretch it because there wasn't really much beside the feud to talk about. Give us your expert scout of the week.
No, game of the week.
Oh, games of the week. Yeah, completely forgot about that.
I
I completely freaking forgot about that. You can go first.
Alright, for the game of the week, this is going to be a pretty obvious one. I'm going to go with Packers and Buccaneers.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good game.
I don't know why it's not Sunday night. The Sunday night game, I guess the Sunday night game was it was supposed to be good, but I don't think it's going to be good. The Sunday night game is actually the Rams and Niners. They should probably switch those two. Make Packers Buccaneers the Sunday night game.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting. I really think it's going to be like a shootout type game. Hopefully, Brady plays good because that'd be cool. Yeah, I can't wait for that game. It's gonna be fun. I need to
According
start.
to Aaron
I need to
Rodgers
pick up some
himself,
Tampa Bay players.
that Jordan Love has been looking pretty good in practice.
See,
He's been developing.
you really can't. I mean, too bad we really don't get a
We don't get
chance to
preseason.
see that. Why not? Why would we? Why would we? Why would we get that? You know what I mean?
Preseason, it doesn't do anything. I mean, we could obviously see that from how little people have gotten injured this week. I mean, this year.
Yeah.
I mean, no off-season programs, no training camp, no biggie.
I think my game of the week has to be the AFC North clash, Browns and the Steelers. This is really going to show what team is going to play second fiddle to the Ravens this year,
I like
and
that
what
one.
team could possibly compete with them if Baltimore struggles. Because Baltimore hasn't looked as sharp. Even in their victories, have been playing a couple puff teams. They haven't really looked for them, really. So, hey, if they keep showing this weakness, one of these, whoever wins that game could, pounce. I
Yeah.
really do like both teams. If I had to give an edge in that game, though, I think the Steelers will win just because they have more experience on their side, and I think they have. I think Big Ben will lead them into a victory. But there's a couple interesting games next week. Should be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone's gonna be watching the Packers Bucks game.
Probably. I don't know why it's not Sunday Night Football. It really
Because
should
the
be.
NFL doesn't like scheduling good games for prime
For
time.
some reason, yeah.
Not Thursday. Thursday has become the freaking tank bowl of the week.
Pretty much. Pretty
I don't know
much.
who's playing next Thursday, but they're probably not very
Here,
good.
let me take a look. Giants Eagles.
Wow, jeez. Didn't even have to look at it.
Then week after that is Panthers Falcons.
It's gonna be rough.
Thursday night football, everyone. Thursday night football.
I honestly just think they should just axe Thursday night football together and just give us 2 Monday night games.
Yeah.
Just do it, or just do that. Just so much better. No, I'm not really a fan of Tuesday football because I feel like it's the same thing as Thursday. Honestly, it's kind of the same deal. I would much rather us have just 2 Monday night games. I think it'd be great. Would make Monday night amazing, but hey, whatever. We don't get nice things in the NFL, so we're not allowed.
This is very true. The NFL does not like us having nice things.
They're like, here's some pain. Who do you have?
Here's something that can go trending. Screw having like good games or like stuff that actually interests fans. Here's something that'll go trending on Twitter. Now it's the NFL.
I'm trying to think.
Thinking about what?
Well,
Well, next we got college players and fantasy player.
there's 2 Monday night games next week.
Yes.
I was looking at the schedule. So who's your expert scout of the week? That's what we're doing.
My college player of the week. I actually just switched it up and went off my list. Just because of his performance on Saturday. I'm going with Georgia, of course. Inside linebacker Monty Rice, senior. He is 6'1", 235 pounds. He's a projected 3rd or 4th round pick, which I think is actually pretty good value for him. He's one of those players, like if he was like maybe a bit bigger, longer, he'd probably rise up boards. But he's like a kind of do-it-all kind of guy, not really great at any one thing. He's a good athlete and he has good lateral agility. He's also good in both man and his coverage, like lining up against running backs, and in zone coverage as well. He drops into coverage well. You can use him as an inside rusher. He's good at that as well. great instincts and disengages and beats blocks well. Although with his length, it makes it a bit harder for him to do that, but he still does it despite his length issues. Again, Khan's length isn't ideal. If you want to get him like hesitating and confused for a second, run a counter because he likes to hesitate on counters before actually diagnosing the play. And he's slow to adjust, so he probably not be good against the 49ers because he's slow to adjust when offensive players are being motioned and in movement pre-snap.
And that's something that would get abused at the NFL. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's something like that teams pick up on quick.
Yeah.
Or those little, they don't like when you adjust, and they'll just do it all again. So it's so pesky about the end. In college, they really doesn't do that much, but in the NFL, yeah.
So he's
they're,
kind of like
they're
a do-it-all linebacker who's good at everything, but not really great at one specific thing. So a third or fourth round is a pretty good value for him. And he'd if he's not even your starting linebacker, he'd be an absolute ace on special teams.
that type of linebacker would be a perfect New England guy. Just described
No.
the perfect New England
Stop
linebacker.
drafting my Georgia players.
No.
Bad New England. Bad.
Oh.
I was surprised when you guys didn't take Fromm, but stop drafting my New England players. I mean, my Georgia players.
Wanted us to take from.
I know
they
you
didn't.
did.
I wanted any quarterback. Didn't get one.
Now you have
Hey.
Stidham and Hoyer.
Man, I'm happy with Newton, but something tells me Newton's like not going to be in the next year. I don't know. I just have that gut feeling. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I hope
I doubt
Newton
Belichick
stays,
pays him if Newton asks for a lot.
that's all I'm saying. He's especially if he continues to play like at the level he's played the first few weeks, full season. He's going to ask for his money, and rightfully so. He deserves it. But I have a feeling that if so, then it's going to be a 1-year rental, which would suck. Get a third round pick out of it though.
Which means next year, it's either going to be Jared Stidham or a rookie, possibly like a
Or another
Kyle
reclamation
Trask
project.
or a Mac Jones.
Honestly, I could see us drafting Trask. Out of any of the quarterbacks that are in the draft, Trask would be like the one that looks like a Patriot quarterback. But
I think Mac Jones
knows?
looks like the most like a Patriot quarterback, honestly.
man, Mac Jones is Mac Jones.
This is very true.
It's Mac Jones. I don't-
Mac Jones reminds me a lot of Fromm, honestly.
No, he reminds me a lot of AJ McCarron.
Yeah.
He
Who
reminds
were
me.
also reminding me a lot of Fromm.
Man, I still think Fromm would be good in Bill's system, but hey,
He's in
we
Buffalo,
don't get nice.
and he's the third string. He's not even active.
I have a feeling he's more, but I can almost guarantee it. Fromm will be a coach.
Oh, yeah.
Just something tells me that Fromm will be a coach. He's that freaking insanely smart.
Yeah.
All right. Fantasy of the week. The person you should absolutely not take fantasy advice. I'm going to give you some fantasy advice anyway, because
And
apparently
I'll follow it the next time I play you and win.
Yes, of course, because it only works when you're playing against me. So just join a fantasy league I'm in and do this, and you'll get a win. I promise, because I don't follow my own advice apparently. But the Falcons are playing the Vikings, and I feel like this is good for two players. It's not just good for Dalvin Cook, which I feel like would be the obvious answer. I feel like it's good for Matt Ryan. I know we've been kind of dogging on Ryan. This will be their first game after a coach firing. And the way I see coach firings, it's normally a good way to get like the team fired up, because when a coach gets fired, everyone's job is on the line.
Yeah.
No matter what your status is in that,
You're already
your
on
job
your for next year.
is on the line. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you kind of saw it in Houston with that Bill O'Brien firing. Everyone, that Houston team was fired up that game. I think it's going to be the same I think this is going to be Atlanta's first win. I think they're going to beat the Vikings. I think the Vikings just are not going to be able to stop the momentum. I think you should start Matt Ryan. Even if he doesn't have Julio, I don't know what Julio's injury system or situation looks like. I don't know. But
Yeah, Julio's been
start
an
Matt
enigma
Ryan in
this
fantasy
season.
if he was playing the Vikings. I would start Matt Ryan, and I think that game's going to be really, really fun. It's a team of two. It's a game of one team trying to somehow stay alive, and a team that's dead trying to fight. So it's going to be fun. I would go Matt Ryan as my sleeper of the week. Who knows? He'll end up putting 5 points up because my fantasy advice is trash.
Matty Ice. That's
I understood why people thought like that was a good nickname. That nickname is not good. I never understood it.
The Georgia Heat had melted the ice in his veins.
I
Now-
swear, man.
Now he's Matty lukewarm.
Bro. And see now Atlanta's Falcons have taken a full circle, and I guarantee if I still lived in Georgia, there would be no Falcons fans talking around there because again the fan base is very how do I say this nicely, very hot and cold, very fair weathered. We'll say the Falcons fans are diehard. You haven't been to a Falcons game when they're losing. Haven't been. Something else, man. Oh man, this is kind of a laid back week.
Yeah, it was. Especially,
Hopefully.
it's nice because my brain is mush, as you can tell.
Okay, so this wasn't our most elaborate episode. Okay,
By far,
so
to say the least.
I wasn't feeling 100% either.
I actually want to talk about
Feeling
another
kinda-
former Bronco that's showing out in this Titans-Bills game. Because 2 wide receivers, Isaiah McKenzie for the Bills and then Khalif Raymond for the Titans. Both were on the Broncos. Both might primarily use as return people. And then, yeah, now they're having success elsewhere. Thanks, Vance Joseph. That's all I have to say.
Oh man. Well, hopefully we'll get our Denver New England game this weekend, so we'll actually get something to talk about. Trash talk next week. Who knows? It might be you clowning on how Stidham sucks. That's what I would say. That's I'm as much as I would want Newton back. I think watching Stidham start would be fun.
Hey, as long as Bradley Chubb can get like 2 sacks, I'd be extremely happy.
No.
No.
Sorry, I'm not allowed. If he's lining up on the right side of our offensive line, he very well might.
Well, no.
We were starting a practice squad versus the Chiefs. We're
And
starting 3 rookies.
I
Yeah,
either
3
want
rookies.
Chubb to have 2 sacks, or Michael Ojumudia to get his first career interception.
No. Not happening.
I feel like that one's more likely though.
Probably is. All right. Well, you guys don't want to hear 2 tired people continue to ramble because, well, I wouldn't either.
I'm not tired. I only
But anyway,
woke up
if you
at
guys-
5 a.m. this morning to work for 9 hours.
Okay. Anyway, if you guys stayed this long, I'm probably masochists. But if you stayed this long, we appreciate it. Next week, hopefully, will be more energetic because we were kind of quiet this week. Thank you again for listening. We'll see y'all next week on the Belichick's Bitches podcast.
See